I will be the face when I knock out Gervonta Davis.
This one fight means more than 1,000 fights I've been in.
You like to fight guys that don't hit hard, but guess what? I do hit hard.
I'm going to walk you to the deep waters and I'm going to drown you. They're going to have to pick you up. Bernard, Oscar, and Joe Goose are going to have to pick him up, and I promise you that.
At this point, we're just a few days away from what's going to be the biggest fight of the year so far, and quite possibly it'll end up being the biggest fight of the year, period, by the time everything's all said and done. Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. And man, I'm excited about this one. It's going to be huge. Look, no matter how this may end, we have to take our hats off to both men, right? We've got two young guys who are operating at a very high level. I don't want to necessarily say they're operating at their primes, right? The best may be ahead for both of these guys or either one of them, but we've got two young guys who are operating at a very high level, undefeated, going out there, putting it all on the line, stepping in against each other, just trying to see who's better, right? Just trying to set a trend, just trying to set the biggest fight, see who's the man, set it for the fans, possibly try to get other people, other young fighters out there doing the same thing. So how can you not love that? Now, just the other day, I made a video saying, can Ryan Garcia defeat Gervonta Davis? And the reason I said that was because there's a lot of people out there who are completely writing this dude off. A lot of people who are thinking Gervonta Davis is going to walk through him. It's a done deal. He's going to just tear his head off. It's only a matter of time. That we're just kind of going through the motions by doing the fight kind of really unnecessary. So I make this video talking about it. Now, please go check it out. Subscribe to the channel, all of that. But if you don't want to, the long story short, it goes like this. Absolutely, Ryan Garcia can go out there and he can win this fight. He has a clear path to victory, and it's all about that left hook. Now, on the one hand, Gervonta Davis tries to discount that left hook. He goes out there and he says Ryan Garcia is a one-dimensional fighter. He's not a complete fighter. All he has is that left hook.
And when I hit you with that left hook,
What else?
This guy I keep talking about, he going to hit me with a hook. He don't have nothing else but a hook. What else you going to hit me with? That's all he has. It's a hook. He's not a complete fighter.
And on the one hand, I get where he's coming from. I kind of understand it, but let's be honest. That's a little bit of propaganda. That's a little bit of playing mind games. We've seen that left hook for sure, no doubt. That's the bread and butter. That's the one that's making all the highlight reels. Ryan Garcia unloads that thing, man, and it is like a gun going off. He's going out there and he's just dropping people, boom, 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 going on this run. Left hook making all the highlight reels for it. Part of the criticism that I have of him though is that he's not great at setting it up. He's not great at controlling the distance, because he doesn't have great footwork. He's not great at using the jab. He doesn't set traps for the left hook. He can become a little bit one-dimensional in the way in which he uses it. So even though he's got tremendous hand speed and the height, and he's got this awesome power, and he's got really good timing with it and everything, there's a lot of areas where he needs to improve to connect with that left hook. Look, anybody can go in the gym and land a tremendous shot on a heavy bag, and anybody can go out and land a tremendous shot against lesser than fighters. And then you can even move it up and you can start doing it against former world champions, contenders, journeymen, all of these types of things. But when you want to go out there and you want to land the biggest shots on the best guys in the world, it's more difficult. There's a reason these guys are the best guys in the world. You got to set it up. You have to use feints. You have to control with the jab. You've got to set traps. You got to change the speed of your shots. You got to go downstairs so the guy will drop his hands and then go up with it. You got to go upstairs and put up a high guard to try to get him to go low with the body so you can counter up top. There's all different things that you can do to try to bait these motions out and try to get things going. Those are the type of things that I want to see from Ryan Garcia. Now, look, I expect him to be better. I expect him to be in this fight, be at his best. Not only is he fighting his best competition, which you hope would bring out the best in him, but he's now training with Joe Goose for I think this is their second fight together, maybe their third. But either way, they've been working together for a little while now, and I expect him to be the best ever. He's got a really good trainer in Joe Goose who's dedicating some real time to him. So I expect him to come out there and start to show these little more tricks of the trade, right? Up his ring IQ and have a little bit more ring craft. So, like I said, his path to victory is clear. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be able to do it, though. But if he wants to do it, that's what it's going to look like. I don't see Ryan Garcia going out there and boxing Gervonta Davis to a 12-round unanimous decision. All of a sudden, he's going to start getting on his bicycle. He's going to be bouncing around using the jab. I mean, he's got the reach. He's got the fast hands. It's just not the way he fights. If he wins this fight, it's going to be because he goes out there, he lands a big shot, he hurts Gervonta Davis, and he's able to put him away. Most likely, If he does it, he's going to be able to do it early. That's when he's going to be the most dangerous. Not only is that when he's going to have the most power, just everybody has the most power and they're the fastest and all this kind of stuff because they're the most fresh. But let's not forget, he's cutting all the way down to 136 and there's a rehydration clause. That's going to be nasty. Now look, typically when you think about cutting that much weight in the rehydration clause, you think about how it's going to drain a guy. But I expect Ryan Garcia to come out in those first few rounds, maybe even like the first 5, and be just as fresh and sharp and powerful as ever. I don't expect the weight cut or the rehydration clause to affect him in the early part of this fight. I expect it to take effect late. I think it's really going to affect his cardio. I think it's going to just drain him when push comes to shove. On top of that, you combine Gervonta Davis possibly going to the body lane and some good left hands early. It's really going to sap him, man, and that's when it's going to come into play. And look, we all know about Gervonta Davis's offense. It's great. He goes out there, he lands that left hand, he puts guys away, and he does know how to set traps. He does know how to do things a little bit differently to get guys where he wants them. Right? He doesn't have the fastest feet, but he's got good enough footwork to get where he wants and to get other guys where he wants. He controls the distance very well. He has to. He's usually the shorter guys against his opponent with the shorter reach, but he goes in there and he's able to land his shots. We don't think about him as having a great jab, but he uses the jab enough to set up what else he wants to do. Look, one of the things that I focused on going into this fight was his fight against Rolly Romero, and it's because Rolly Romero is a guy who is bigger, longer, with a real big left hook with fast hands. How did Gervonta Davis handle that? Right? Because I think that could be a little bit of a precursor. Give us a little bit of insight into how he's going to handle this fight with Ryan Garcia, right? Same mold in that type of way. Not the same fighter in a lot of regards, but just wanted to see how he handled it. When you came out there, that's when we saw the most patient Gervonta Davis we had ever seen. Early on in that fight, dude, he was using a lot of lateral movement, moving around a whole lot, didn't want to get caught, still did. Every single round early on, we saw Rolly Romero catch him. We even saw Gervonta Davis potentially get hurt. Like he wasn't wobbled. It wasn't anything like that, but he got caught with a shot from Rolly, and he got on his bike, man, and he was moving around, and that's usually the sign of a guy who kind of felt that power. Nevertheless, he was able to persevere, didn't get dropped or anything along those lines. He was able to persevere and end up getting the stoppage victory. So when you think about it, that's a way that it could possibly happen, but he knows that. He knows how dangerous Ryan Garcia is. There's a lot of ways that he comes out there in the media and he tries to downplay Ryan Garcia, but that's all propaganda. That's all to get in his head. When it's just him, he kept it real. He knows that this is a dangerous dude. He needs to work on his defense. He needs to prepare. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. He's the guy with the better ring IQ. I think he's good at getting the guy with the better defense. I think he's going to be able to set up his shots and get him off. So even though we see Ryan Garcia with the height and the reach and the great power and the fast hands and the explosiveness, he's getting weight drained. It's going to affect him late. He's going up against a guy who is a knockout puncher, who's got a better ring IQ, who understands exactly what's standing in front of him, understands a very, very good, decisive plan to beat him by taking him late and drowning him. That's what he keeps saying. He keeps coming out and telling us what he's going to do. I'm going to take him into deep waters and I'm going to drown him. I'm going to take him into deep waters and I'm going to drown him. That's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see the middle to the late rounds. Gervonta Davis is going to find that shot. Early on, he's going to be patient. He's going to move around until he gets the speed, until he gets the rhythm. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if for the first round, dude threw 20 punches. I wouldn't be surprised if out of the first 3 rounds or first 4 rounds, Ryan Garcia wins 3 of them. Maybe wins 4 out of the first 6. That's not what Gervonta Davis is there to do. He's going to win the late rounds, should it go late, but he's most likely going to get a stoppage. I think inside of, I'll call it 9 rounds. I think by the 9th round, we end up seeing a stoppage from Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia just doesn't have the defense to be able to hold up with it. We saw him get dropped by Luke Campbell, a guy who's not as big of a puncher as Gervonta Davis. Now look, he likes to talk about how everybody mentions the Luke Campbell fight. Everybody mentions the Luke Campbell punch. Not everybody's going to be able to land that, but Gervonta Davis will. Ryan Garcia's too flat-footed. He keeps his chin up a little bit too much. He pulls back too straight from his punches. It's just not going to work out over the long haul. So even though he has a clear path to victory, even though if he were to come up with a big shot and win this, I wouldn't just be like jaw on the floor surprised. This is Gervonta Davis's fight. He's a favorite going into this one. Looking at the line, he's like minus 240, minus 250, something like that. I think there's value there. I think he should be a bigger favorite than that. I think this dude's going to come out with this victory. And the real question is going to be, what's he going to do next? What's he going to do next? He comes out there, he smokes Ryan Garcia, looks great, stops him in call it 8-9 rounds. We got the fight next month with Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, man. That one's for all the belts. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see the winner of this fight go up against the winner of Devin Haney and Lomachenko. Call it September, October. Man, think about that. That would be for all the marbles, phenomenal fight. But look, in this one right here, I'm taking Gervonta Davis. I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done in spectacular fashion. I think he's going to look the best ever because he's taking this one so serious. He knows how important it is. I think both men's stock go up, even though one man has to win and one man has to lose. So let me know what you guys think. Is he going to come out with the victory? Do you think Ryan Garcia has a chance? Do you think he's got this clear path to victory like I'm talking? Do you see it kind of a different way? Let me know what you guys think.